Hey y'all, good afternoon and welcome back to the Hobby Homestead. If you're new here, I'm Heather. So this afternoon, we are gonna make one of the best breads that my kids love. We're gonna make a cinnamon swirl bread. Made a loaf yesterday, it's gone. So we're gonna go ahead and make 2 loaves today. So follow along as we get started. Alrighty friends, to my mixer, I wanna add 2 cups of warm water. And then I'm gonna add a tablespoon and a half of active dry yeast. Then I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of honey and a 1/4 cup of olive oil, or not olive oil, vegetable oil. You can substitute the honey for sugar if you want. And then we're going to go ahead and let that mix just for a second so it can get nice and incorporated. And what that honey is going to do is it's going to activate your yeast. So we're going to let this sit for about 5 minutes. So what you're looking for is you're looking for your yeast to start to get bubbly. And our yeast is starting to bubble just a little bit. We're going to go ahead and let this sit for about 3 more minutes till it's nice and bubbly and my yeast is blooming beautifully. Alright, so now that our yeast is blooming, I'll go ahead and let this give it a good mix real quick. We want to put 1½ teaspoons of salt. And I'm just using a ½ teaspoon measure. And then I'm going to add my flour in little by little. But you want 5½ cups of flour. And I am using bread flour. You can use all-purpose flour. So what I want this to do is I want my flour to get well incorporated with my wet mixture. And I want it to pour away from the bowl nice and cleanly. So this is going to be about a 5 to 8 minute process. So as you can see, my dough has pulled away from the bowl nice and cleanly. And what I'm doing as it's kneading is it's building gluten. So the longer you let it knead, like the more gluten it'll build. So it's going to knead for about another 2 minutes. Then we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to leave my dough in this bowl. A lot of people would take their dough out, grease the bowl. I don't do all that. I'm just going to leave my dough in this bowl. I'm going to cover it and I'm going to let it rise for about an hour. Alrighty, so as you can see, we got the dough kneaded. It is tacky. My dough is tacky, but as it sits and it develops more gluten and as it rises, the tackiness will go away. So I'm going to cover this and we'll come back in an hour to see what it's looking like. Alrighty friends, so my dough has doubled as you can see in the bowl. So I have some flour in this jar. I'm just going to put some flour down. I'm going to go ahead and push my dough down. And a lot of people are probably like, your dough's too sticky. No, it's not. I noticed, my family has noticed that if you add flour and you continue to add flour to your dough, then that makes it really, really dense. And when you don't, you get a nice, soft, fluffy dough. Or bread, I should say. So in this we'll make 2 loaves. So I'm just kind of working my dough a little bit. just to build a little bit more structure in it. Okay, so now what I want to do, take my bench scraper here, I'm going to split my dough in half. Now I'm just eyeballing it. Push that one to the side. What I want to do is I'm going to push my dough out because I'm making a cinnamon swirl bread. Got your cinnamon here. Now I took some cinnamon sticks and ground them up. Okay, and I'm going to take and I'm going to roll it, because when you roll it, that's where you get your swirl at. And if you don't like your dough this sticky, then you can add more flour. To each their own. Then I'm going to take this end, I'm going to pour it in, then I'm going to take the other end, pour it in, and I'm going to just kind of turn it on itself. Just like that. I have me a buttered flour pan here. Flour pan, oh my goodness, bread pan. And we're going to set it in here. And I'm going to let these rise for about probably another hour or so while I go get my kiddos from school. So we're going to do the same thing in the second one. Doing the same thing to this one. And you can use ground up, pre-ground cinnamon if you want. But I had a bunch of cinnamon sticks. I mean, each person has their own way. Each person likes the consistency of their bread different. And when you got a sticky dough like this, your bench scraper is your best friend. And I'm just taking it and pushing everything under. Go ahead and get it in this pan. And then we're going to go ahead and let these set. Alrighty friends, so we're going to go ahead and get this covered with a towel. It's 2:04. I should be back from getting the kids from the schoolhouse about 3:45. When we get back, they should be doubled in size. We will go ahead and put these in the oven at 350 degrees for 30 minutes. And then we will cut into them so you all can see what they look like. So follow along. Alrighty friends. I'm going to go ahead and get the smaller of the two loaves out. That is a beautiful bread. And my bread, whoo, that's hot. Just comes right on out. Burn my fingers while I'm out. Hot fingers. So we're going to get the other one out. I'm going to let these cool probably for about 30 minutes. And then we'll go ahead and cut into one. maybe 30 minutes. Maybe I'll cut into one sooner. We shall see. Alrighty, friends, I'm going to go ahead and cut into the smaller of the two. This bread is super hot. And as you can see the swirl in the bread. It's hard to see, but here we go. You see the beautiful swirl we got in the bread there? It is absolutely divine. My kids love this bread. My friends, we're gonna try this. I don't eat very much bread, but I love me a cinnamon bread. That has got the perfect cinnamon taste to it. It's better than store-bought bread. Well, there you have it, friends. So we got our cinnamon bread done. Hopefully that lasts more than one day. Hopefully. Cross my fingers. So until next time, friends, I thank you for following along. I thank you for watching my channel. And as always, bye.